Hey there, writers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Emma and I write romance. I'm based in the UK. Today, I thought it might be interesting to talk to you about the process that I go through when I am submitting a book to my publisher. The reason I thought that you might like to hear about this is that it's a little bit different to the process that you go through if you are submitting a book to a new publisher or to an agent. So I've never actually submitted a book to an agent before. I write contemporary romance mainly. And what I was advised from speaking to various publishers and agents and other writers is that in the UK at least, and for what I write, there wasn't really anything that an agent would be able to do for me that a publisher couldn't. Um, so so I decided not to go through the agent route and to submit straight to publisher. I've done this, well, I've had three publishers at this point, and I think submitting to them was pretty much the same process. Usually, publishers ask for a synopsis of the book, which is the entire story from beginning to end, including the ending. They're not bothered about spoilers. And then they'll often ask for just the first three chapters of the book. Now, the big difference to when I've done this and what I do now is that always when I have submitted a book to a new publisher, I've had the whole thing written. It is complete. It's gone through several drafts, or edited, and yeah, it's really good to go. Not quite ready for publication because obviously their own editors are going to work on it, but basically they should be able to see exactly what sort of story it is, the all of the character arcs. They should definitely know my author voice from it and be able to decide if it is something that they would like to publish. Yeah. So that's what I've done before. Obviously, you can go through things like some publishers go through Submittable, or they provide an email address that you send to. At this point, I'm just talking about publishers which accept unsolicited manuscripts. If they don't accept unsolicited manuscripts, then that is when you would need to go through an agent in order to get to the publisher. So, how does it differ now? So, there are two kind of ways that it differs at the moment for me, and one is particularly because I have started writing less standalone novels, and I've kind of moved on to writing series, which I'm really enjoying. So the first thing that is the big difference is that when I have a book idea that I am submitting, I am not just submitting that book to like the whole publishing company for it to go into a pile for a reader to get through and then pass it on to an editor. It goes directly to my editor. She knows me, she knows my work, she knows what she's looking for on her list going forward. So that's really nice because you send off what you're hoping that they will like, and you get an email back like very quickly saying, you know, that it's being received. You're not having to hang around quite so long. The whole process is a lot quicker and a lot smoother. So then hopefully my editor likes the idea and it will get passed on to the acquisitions team, and there will be a meeting to discuss it and come up with a plan for when it will be published, any changes that need to be made, and things like that. My actual submission at that point is just the idea. It's not even a full synopsis that I do now, and it's certainly not complete chapters. It is just normally a couple of paragraphs giving the idea of the story, the main themes and tropes, the main characters, they're very importantly, because it's romance, the internal and external conflict that they face. Yeah, and that is all I need to submit now, which is really really nice, much much less stressful than having to work on like a perfect synopsis, and obviously much less work than writing an entire manuscript, which might not be exactly what my publisher is looking for at the moment. So what has happened is that I will send off a book idea, and my editor will come back to me. And what happened once was that she said, "We really like this idea. This is great, but we would really love it to be a Christmas story. Is it possible to change it to a story set in December?" Or something like that. So that's really handy that I haven't written the book yet, because obviously that would be more work to have to change a load of it than just to be starting writing it fresh and knowing that that is what needs to be incorporated into the story. So the other thing that is really different is that I am not just submitting one book. To a publisher, which is typically what you do. And you might say that you have ideas for other books, because no publisher really wants to take on a writer who is only going to produce one book. What I am doing is I am sending off several ideas at the same time. Like I say, I am moving into writing series at the moment. The first book in my Castle Cove series is out now, and it's set in a fictional Cornish seaside town. I'm currently working on the third in that series. I'm absolutely loving it. So I've had an idea for another series, which is set in the Cotswolds. In a little village there with all kinds of village happenings. And I'm very excited about the prospect of writing that, actually. So, what I've done with that is I've decided it will start off at least with 4 books. And so I've sent off to my editor ideas for those 4 stories and how they will all interconnect into this little Cotswolds world that I'm going to be creating. So I'm really hoping that she likes it, because I do think that I guess it'll be great fun to write, and I think readers will really enjoy it as well. So we'll just have to see. But the best thing is that I haven't actually had to write a whole 65, 70,000 word manuscript to send off and then be told, oh, actually, we like your writing, but this really isn't what we're looking for at the moment, and we don't think that this is going to sell with the market as it is at the moment. So in a way, it's much, much easier at this point. And because I've got this relationship with my editor as well, and there's kind of back and forth, you're getting a lot of feedback, which is really, really helpful. And we can work out anything that isn't quite right with the stories together before moving forward and actually writing them. So then once the story is agreed upon and the contracts are all signed and things, I actually get on with writing the book. This is also slightly different in what I send to my editor, because when you are first submitting to a publisher, obviously you are wanting to get your manuscript in the absolute best shape that is going to be, so that you have the best chance of being taken on, because you can show how professional you are, having it kind of properly formatted, and just everything as good as you can get it. It's not that I would ever send off a manuscript to my publisher that I'd just like quickly dashed off and hadn't edited it all or anything like that. But I am very aware that my publisher has an excellent team of editors. There are going to be several pairs of expert eyes going over this manuscript, and there are going to be literally thousands of little changes made to it. So there is absolutely no point to me fussing over and over it, trying to make sure that everything is completely perfect, that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, because it really is a process that it will then go through with me working through several rounds of edits with these professionals for it to get to the point that it is ready to be published. So yeah, there's also less pressure on me from that side of things, not to have to send off like a perfect manuscript, if that makes sense. Well, thank you very, very much for joining me for this video today. If you've enjoyed it and it was interesting, please make sure that you boop that like button and subscribe if you're not already, because we have a lot of fun on this channel, and I will catch you in the next one.